If you don't like how things are, change it. If you are not willing to risk the unusual, you will have to settle for the ordinary. I've often thought about the journey of success, and one key element always stands out: the power of determination. It's like steering a ship. Even with a great boat and crew, without a clear direction and drive, you'll just drift. Think about the last time you really didn't want to do something. Maybe it was a tough conversation. Maybe it was a project that seemed insurmountable. We've all been there, haven't we? That moment where the easier choice is to say, "I'll do it tomorrow." But here's the thing. Tomorrow becomes the next day, and the next, and soon enough, what was a molehill becomes a mountain. In these moments, the difference between success and stagnation is action. Action is the foundational key to all success. It's not just about having knowledge or talent. It's about using that knowledge, harnessing that talent. You could have the intellect of Einstein, but without action, it's like having a library of books that you never read. Start from wherever you are and with whatever you've got. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. You cannot make progress without making decisions. Now let's do something different in the next 90 days than you did in the last 90 days. Like picking up books to read, do something different, like new health disciplines, relationships with your family. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter how small it is. If you start doing different things with the same circumstances, since we cannot change the circumstances, but we can change ourselves. We can change what we do. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Few simple principles here. Once you understand these, it starts to explain so much. Sometimes it's tough to accept, to stop blaming external factors and start taking responsibility. It's challenging to make that shift. I struggled with it myself. Then someone shared a secret with me. Focus on working harder on yourself than on your job. That changed everything for me. They explained, if you work hard on your job, you'll earn a living. But if you work hard on yourself, you can build a fortune. It was eye-opening. At 25, people would have said, Jim Rohn is a hard worker. And I was. I didn't mind putting in extra hours. But despite my efforts, I had little money and lots of unfulfilled promises. Why? Because I was working hard on my job, not on improving myself. Let me tell you, if you grasp that simple principle and begin the process today, or at the very latest tomorrow, take tonight to mull it over and embark on the journey of personal development, you can drastically enhance your income. Economics is just the beginning of the benefits you can reap by focusing more on improving yourself than on your job. Concentrate on honing your skills, refining yourself, and cultivating the qualities that make you more valuable to the marketplace. Believe me, your entire life can undergo a revolution. Promotions, easily achievable. Adding more value to your company, no trouble at all. Money, not an issue. Future prospects, no worries. The key is to focus on the right things, not on external factors. Don't try to change the external circumstances. Instead, let the natural order of things work in your favor. Concentrate on enhancing yourself internally. Your philosophy, attitude, personality, language, communication skills, and all your abilities. Once you start making these personal improvements, everything will transform for you. Life success is something you attract by the person you become. Success is not something you pursue. It's like chasing a butterfly. You can't quite catch it. Success is something you attract by becoming an attractive person. And how could you work on both, a living and a fortune? He said, well, you could start part-time working on your fortune while you're working full-time on your living. I thought, wow. Now, he said, it's fun to get up in the morning. Not just getting up to go to work to pay the rent, but to get up to go to work to make a fortune. First, to make a living for my family. Second, to make a fortune. And he taught me how to make both, a living and a fortune. Guess what I did? I learned how to make both, a living and a fortune. And I found out anybody could do it once they get the information. And at age 25, I started receiving this extraordinary information. Here's what he said. Your income is directly related to your philosophy, not to the economy. I thought, no one ever told me that. I kept hoping the economy would change. He said, no, your philosophy has to change. I assured him that I had my fingers crossed. He said, that won't help. Then what could I do to change my income and multiply it by 2, by 3, by 5, by 10, and then multiply it by 10 again? What could I do? And he started giving me the disciplines and the process of learning the skills to change my life. This was an extraordinary man. Those were extraordinary times for me. Life-changing in every manner that you can imagine, but very simple ABC concepts. Here's what I learned: not to search for the exotic until you've discovered the basic. And those basic philosophies that he shared with me during that time were life-changing. Success is something you attract by the person you become. Success is not something you pursue, chase, run after. Success is something you develop, something you become. You attract success. So, the whole key to unlock all the treasures, whether it's economic treasures or spiritual treasures, financial, social, personal, every way you can possibly think of, is by your own personal development. Then he added one more, which is so important, and it's probably worth the price of the seminar. Here it is. What you become is much more valuable than what you get. What you become is much more valuable than what you get. The major question to ask on the job is not, what am I getting here? The major question to ask on the job is, what am I becoming here? Not what am I getting, what am I becoming? So it's very important what you become, because what you become attracts. If you become cynical, you attract cynicism. What you become attracts. So this whole subject of personal development was so vitally important to me, it changed my life. I was a millionaire by age 31, and that was just the economic part of it. Took me 6 years from age 25 to age 31. It was unbelievable. Remember, be a student, not a follower. And here's what you must always do. Design your own personal life. Be your own person. You don't have to be a model of someone else. You don't have to do it like anybody else, right? Do it like yourself. Buy what you want to buy. Listen to what you want to listen to. Make changes if you want to make changes. And don't make changes, right? It's your life, I'm telling you, and don't let anybody persuade you any different. Success is not a stereotype. Success is not a Ferrari. Success is not an automobile. It's not a house. It's not a place. It's not money in the bank. It's not $1 million. That's not success. Success is the continual unfolding of the design of your own life and pulling it off. That's what success is. The continual unfolding of the design of your own personal life and pulling it off in whatever degree you wish. That is success. Successful in doing whatever you want to do. That makes sense to you, for you, your family, your responsibilities. I want you to think about your own boats, your own oceans. What dreams have you anchored because someone told you they were impossible? It's time to lift those anchors, my friends. It's time to sail into the vast, limitless potential that awaits each one of us as we journey through the uncharted waters of our potential. The compass that guides us is our belief, our inner conviction. This belief in oneself is the wind that fills our sails, propelling us forward even against the mightiest of storms. It's the foundation upon which all great achievements are built. The moment you start to believe in the possibility of achieving your dreams, that very moment, my friends, is when the magic starts to unfold. Think of belief as the seed planted in the fertile soil of your mind. It needs nurturing, care, and most importantly, it needs the sunshine of positive thought and the water of relentless action. But belief alone isn't enough. What directs this belief, what shapes it into something tangible and real, is vision. Vision is the lighthouse that guides our ships through the fog of uncertainty and doubt. It's the picture we paint in our minds of what we aspire to become, of where we see ourselves in the grand canvas of life. Let me tell you about a young woman I met years ago. She came from a small town, much like many of us here. She had big dreams, but in her town, people often said, dreams are just that, dreams. They don't come true for people like us. Yet, this young woman refused to accept this. She believed in herself and in her vision of becoming a renowned artist. Despite numerous rejections, financial struggles, and countless voices telling her it was impossible, she persisted. Today, she's not just an artist. She's an inspiration to many, showcasing her work globally. Her vision broke the limits set by her circumstances. And then there's the story of a young man born into hardship and struggle. Every day was a fight for survival, and the idea of success was as distant as the stars in the night sky. But he had a vision. He saw himself not as a product of his environment, but as an architect of his future. He believed he could rise above his circumstances, and he did. He worked tirelessly, fueled by his unwavering belief and clear vision. Today, he's a successful entrepreneur, a beacon of hope for many who come from similar backgrounds. These stories, my friends, aren't just tales of success. They are powerful reminders of what belief and vision can achieve. They prove that when you believe in yourself and have a clear vision of where you want to go, the limits start to fade away. The barriers that once seemed insurmountable become stepping stones on your path to success. As we move forward, let's carry these stories in our hearts. Let them remind us that our belief in ourselves is the first step towards achieving the extraordinary. Let them inspire us to craft a vision so compelling that it lights up our path, even in the darkest of times. And most importantly, let these stories be a testament to the fact that with belief and vision, what once seemed impossible becomes possible. As we navigate this journey of self-belief and vision, we inevitably come across a formidable ocean, an ocean filled with waves of fear and doubt. These waves have a way of crashing against our aspirations, trying to push us back to the shore of comfort and familiarity. But it's crucial to remember that every person who ever achieved something of value had to cross this very ocean. Fear and doubt are not just roadblocks, they're also indicators. They signal that we're venturing out of our comfort zones, stepping into new territories. It's natural to feel fear when we're about to do something big, something that matters. But it's in these moments when fear is the loudest that we must find the courage to move forward. I want to share a strategy that has helped me tremendously in overcoming fear and doubt. It's simple yet powerful. Face your fears head on and act despite them. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to act even when you're afraid. Each time you confront your fears, you strip them of their power and you gain strength, wisdom, and confidence. Let me tell you about a friend of mine. He was terrified of public speaking. His voice would quiver. His hands would shake at just the thought of standing in front of a crowd. But he had valuable ideas to share, a story that needed to be told. So he started small, speaking to a group of friends, then a community gathering. With each step, he was shaking, but he was also growing. Today, he's an inspirational speaker, touching the lives of thousands. His fear of public speaking didn't vanish overnight, but his determination to face it created a path for his voice to be heard. I, too, have had my fair share of fears and doubts. There were moments when I questioned my capabilities, moments when the whisper of doubt tried to drown my dreams. But I learned to ask myself, what's the worst that can happen? More often than not, the worst was not as catastrophic as my fear made it out to be. And even when it was, I realized that the risk of not trying, of not giving my dreams a chance, was far greater than the risk of failing. So how do we apply this in our lives? Start by acknowledging your fears, not as enemies, but as signposts pointing you towards growth. Then, take small, consistent steps towards facing them. It might be speaking up in a meeting, sharing your ideas with a colleague, or taking on a project that stretches you. With each step, you'll find your fears losing their grip and your confidence rising. And when doubt whispers in your ear, challenge it. Arm yourself with the belief in your vision and the successes you've already achieved, no matter how small. Remember, Every giant leap for mankind started with a small step of courage. As we continue on this path, let's embrace our fears and doubts as companions in our journey. They are not there to stop us, but to strengthen us, to forge us into individuals capable of achieving extraordinary things. The courage to move forward despite fear, the strength to push through doubt, that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Let's be the doers. Let's take those steps, however shaky, and walk towards the future we envision for ourselves. For on the other side of fear and doubt lies a world of possibilities waiting for us to seize them. In our journey of self-improvement, having conquered the waves of fear and doubt, we now sail into the waters of discipline and consistency. This is the part of the journey that tests our resolve, our commitment to the course we've set for ourselves. It's about doing what's required even when the initial spark of excitement has dimmed. Discipline and consistency are the engines that drive our boat forward when the winds of enthusiasm aren't blowing. Think of discipline not as a burden, but as a liberator. It's the discipline to wake up early to work on your dream, the discipline to say no to distractions, the discipline to keep pushing when results seem distant. It's about doing the right thing again and again, even when it's not the easy thing. This repeated action, this consistency, is the magic ingredient that turns ordinary into extraordinary.